showed immense bravery. And can I say to the Prime Minister, we fully support the decision the Foreign Secretary took to authorise her rescue. And we must always make clear from all sides of this House that responsibility for her death lies solely and squarely with those who took her hostage. Can I ask the Prime Minister to update the House on his phone call with President Obama about the circumstances surrounding Linda Norgrove's death and the progress in the inquiry into those circumstances?
Well, I'm grateful for what the Right Honourable Gentleman says and the way that he says it both about our troops and about the tragic case of Linda Norgrove. As he knows, I spoke to President Obama to really stress the point that we think it is extremely important. This is a joint US and UK investigation. I don't think there are any further details I can give about what happened that night. The picture still is unclear, but it was right, I think, to correct the early information that most likely was wrong about how Linda died. This investigation is now underway. When there is new information to bring to the House, we will bring it to the House. I think most important of all, though, is to keep the family informed at every stage. I'll be meeting General Petraeus tomorrow to discuss this further, and I particularly want to echo what the Right Honourable Gentleman says about the responsibility for this. It is an impossibly difficult decision to make about whether to launch a raid and try to free a hostage. And in the end, we must all be clear, the responsibility for Linda's death lies with those cowardly, ruthless people who took her hostage in the first place.
Ed Miliband. Can I thank the Prime Minister for that answer and for undertaking to keep the House informed, and he has our full support on the issue. Can I turn to the issue of benefits and say to him that we will work with him on his reforms to disability living allowance and reforms to sickness benefits, because they are important reforms and they need to be done. On child benefit, though, I think his own benches and the country at large do have concerns. Can I ask him, first of all, how many families where one parent stays at home will be affected by the changes that he's proposed to child benefit?
Well, in terms of the number of families who will be affected, I mean, higher rate tax is paid by 15% of taxpayers. And the decision that we've taken is to say that child benefit shouldn't be received by families where there is a higher rate taxpayer. Now, I accept this is a difficult choice, but the fact is, well, I've answered the question, how many? The answer is 15% of taxpayers are higher rate taxpayers. No. This is a difficult choice because as we deal with the deficit, we do have to ask better off people to bear their share of the burden. The fact is that today we spend £1 billion giving money through child benefit to relatively better off homes. We think that has to change, and I have to ask him why he thinks that's not the case.
Mr. Speaker, I may be new to this game, but I think I asked the questions and he should answer them. Now I'm afraid he didn't provide an answer, Mr. Speaker, to the specific question I asked. By my reckoning, there are hundreds of thousands of families where one parent stays at home. There are hundreds of thousands of families. And the question they're asking, Mr. Speaker, is this. Why should a family on £45,000, where one person stays at home, lose their child benefit, £1,000, £2,000, £3,000 a year, but a family on £80,000, where both partners in the couple are working, should keep their child benefit? That doesn't strike people as fair. It doesn't strike me as fair. Does it strike the Prime Minister as fair?
What I believe is fair is asking better off people to make a contribution to reducing the deficit. Let me try putting it this way to the Honourable Gentleman. Think about it like this. There are thousands of people in his constituency earning 1/6 of what he earns. Through their taxes, they will be paying for his child benefit. Is that really fair?
I'm afraid it's 0 out of 2 on straight answers, Mr. Speaker. And look, we should try and change the tone of these exchanges, but he must provide straight answers to straight questions. I'm not defending the rich, Mr. Speaker.
Leader of the Opposition will be heard, and if there are colleagues chuntering away who then hope to catch the eye of the Chair, I'm afraid they're deluded. The Leader of the Opposition.
I'm defending the deputy head teacher in a primary school. I'm defending the police inspector, all of whom are asking a simple question. And you know, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister used to agree with me. The Prime Minister used to agree with me because he went before the election to Bolton in an event which I gather is called Cameron Direct. And he said this, I'm not going to flannel you. I'm going to give it to you straight. I like child benefit. I wouldn't change child benefit. I wouldn't means test it. I don't think that's a good idea. I agree with the Prime Minister. Why doesn't he?
The problem that the honourable gentleman, the problem he has to face up to is he left us the biggest budget deficit in the G7. And he has got absolutely no proposals to deal with it. He opposes our changes on housing benefit, yes? Yes? You oppose those? Yep. He opposes our changes on a benefit cap.
Order, I apologise for it. Just as the Leader of the Opposition must be heard, so must the Prime Minister be heard. The Prime Minister.
He opposes our changes on a benefit cap, yes? Just nod. And he opposes our changes on child benefit. He quoted something to me. Let me quote him something back. We have to be frank with people and show our mettle. In times of plenty, giving child benefit to high earners is a luxury the country cannot afford. That was Alan Miliband, someone who cared